Welcome back to episode 2 of this Adobe Express tutorial series, which is all beginner guide to getting started with Adobe Express, the sponsor of today's video. We're going to be talking about all things templates, elements, images, videos, how to find them, how to save them so you can find them later on, all of that good stuff. Now, if you're new here, my name is Darren. I'm an Adobe Express ambassador, and in this series I've linked all of the episodes down in the description below. They're all over on my website for you to sign up there. There's also a chapters section, so you can jump between each of the chapters and each of the episodes if that's what you want to do, and save these for future reference also. So all of that is down in the description, and also a 30-day trial to Adobe Express. But let's get in and get started with these design essentials inside of Adobe Express. Now we're starting off on the Adobe Express homepage, and on this one we're going to click on the templates option on the left hand side menu here, and then that's going to open up our area here where we can start exploring templates. We've got across the top here photos, videos, design assets, backgrounds, text layouts, website templates, and even stickers. But first of all, let's have a look at templates and how we can actually start finding the right templates that we want for us. We've got across the top here, we've got seasonal moments, and some of these do change on a regular basis depending on the time of year and what is actually happening. So we've got seasonal moments here, we've got layouts, social media ads, prints, documents. You've got all of the different options down the side here, and if we do find a section that we actually want to have a look at further, we can actually click on view all, and then that's going to open up more of those. We can click view more again, and that's going to allow us to actually view more again. Now we're going to click back on the home page, we're going to click back to templates, and now we're going to start having a look down at the filters. So we can see here we can actually filter out by whether we want just premium. We can choose to filter out by the type of element or the type of design we want to do. So if we wanted to do Instagram ones, we can do here. So we can do Instagram portrait. Okay, and we're going to be able to then see all of the Instagram portrait options. I'm just going to collapse that menu. You can see here we've got the size. That's going to give us the size option here. We can then have a look at the type, so we can see whether we want animated templates, multiple pages, video templates, or static templates. I'm not going to click a filter on there just now. We can then see, we can have a look at the different style of templates. So if we wanted something that was a little bit abstract, we can start having a look, and these are the images or templates that are listed as abstract in here. We can then select mood, so we could have abstract and gritty. Maybe we've got a couple of ones there that are abstract and gritty, and then down here we've got region. Now I'm based in the UK, so by default the UK is selected for me, and also there is the global option. Now one of the things that I do like to do here as well is I like to actually add a couple of other regions, because you can sometimes get other items on there. So if we click off global and United Kingdom, we can see here these ones are just for Australia or United States. We can see we can add in Brazil, and you're going to see on here as we do these, it's going to actually change the language of these as well. So if you're based in a different country, you can see here if I click on France, it's going to actually load the French items up on here. And we can see after a few moments it does load all of the French templates up for us. We can see on here we've got different language options. So that's why you would actually put them on there. So if there's a particular region or particular item of templates that you're looking for, you can start adding those templates on there. I'm going to put mine back to United Kingdom. Oops. And also United States, I like to add those in there, and also global templates. So I'm going to add those in there and take a look at some of these templates. Now if you are in a design window, which we've not looked at yet, but this is the design window where I've opened up a template, you do still have access to find templates down on the left hand side panel here. We can actually generate templates now. We're going to come onto that in a future episode, but we can search templates. We can tick these boxes whether we want free or premium, and then there's the little filter option at the side where we've got all of those same filters, and you can also clear those filters if you wanted to. But that's how you can actually access each of the templates inside of the areas there. So we've got the home page and also within side of the design window. Now, if you remember back when we looked inside of episode 1, we were able to actually favourite templates. So if we found a template that we wanted to use on a regular basis, let's say we had a review template. So we're going to type in the top here, we've got to a review template, and that's going to now have a look for review templates for us. We've got this one here, so we can actually now start favouriting these. Okay, and if there's a particular one we want to use on a regular basis, we could do. There's this one here as well that I've used myself in the past. You can see these are both similar, but they are different sizes. And then if we come back, we can actually find those under your stuff. If you go to the favourites section, and then under here, you can see those templates now that we've actually favorited. And you just click on these, and that's going to then open up, and you're going to click on customize the template. It's going to take you back to the design window where you can then start customizing this. And again, I'm going to show you down here in the templates, so you can actually come over and start filtering those, or you can come over to your stuff, and on your stuff, you've got favorites, and that's where you're then going to be able to access favorites, and all of your files inside of the design window is down under your stuff. So I didn't mention that in episode 1. So if you haven't watched that episode, go back and have a look at that episode, but that's where you can also access your stuff inside of the design window here. Now back on the home page and under templates, we can then start having a look at photos, videos, or other design assets. You can see here we can actually filter by the kind of like type of image that we might want. So if we want to say, let's say we want a coffee shop on here, shop. Okay, so we're going to put that in here, and then we're going to be able to have a look at some of these photos. So we can see here we've got different ones where we've got different like looks. We could choose that, say we wanted vertical, so now we've got just vertical options inside of here. If we wanted to, we could actually exclude people, and that's going to then start excluding people and filtering those out for us to actually exclude people. You can see some of them don't actually exclude people. I tend to find it tends to be the AI generated ones where it doesn't exclude people, but most of the time it will actually exclude people for you if it's something where you don't actually want a person in there. So yeah, you can see we've actually, most of these now do actually exclude people, and again, those are all vertical because we've got those two filters applied. Also, again, like we did with the templates, you can actually hover over these and you can actually start favoriting these. So if you are a coffee shop or you want to start using coffee shop images on a regular basis, you could start hearting those or start saving those off for your favorites area. And it's the same for the videos option. We've got the same video filters, or we've got the same filters as in the images, and we can also start to favorite those if there's a particular one that we wanted to actually save. Now what you'll notice as we click through these, it actually still keeps the coffee shop open up here. So if we now click on design assets, that's going to now start searching for us our design assets which actually have coffee shop in them. So you can see here now I've actually got all of those design assets. You can see here we're still searching under coffee shop, so we can start favoriting these if there was particular design assets that we wanted to save. Now if we wanted to close this search, you might think, well, how do I get rid of this? You might want to try and kind of like clear this or X this, but you can also click on close search on the top right hand corner here. So that's going to actually close the search, and it's going to take us back to the kind of like generic area of the design assets. You can see here we've also got backgrounds, so if we wanted to search for coffee shop under backgrounds, we could do that. We've got all of these coffee shop background options here, so we could favorite these if these were ones that we wanted to kind of like add to a design. We've also got text layouts. Now I don't know if we're going to have many. Yeah, we've got a couple of coffee text layouts. I'm going to click close search so you can see all of the text layout options we've got here. So we've got buttons, we've got signs and labels, we've got speech bubbles, and we've also got stickers, socials, design signatures. All of these are editable. So if we want to click on one of these, let's click on this speech bubble. So we're going to click on create new. We're going to click on Instagram portrait. And you can see here now we've actually got each of these elements in here, so we can actually still come in and double click to edit the text or anything else like that. But that's the option of text layouts that we've got here. We can kind of like find one that we want to find the like the look of. And again, we've got different options under here. So I've got automatically United Kingdom and global, but we could also click on the United States, Japan, India. We could click all of those on here if there was a particular look or feel. So even like this one here, where we've got the Japanese text on here, I think that is Japanese, I'm guessing it is. We're going to click on Instagram post, so we can then still come in here and we can actually then still text in and type in something different here if we wanted to. So do have a play about with that, have a look, and make sure you do kind of like add in all of the different kind of like regions in there as well, because that's going to help you find different text layouts. So we're going to come back to explore. So that's the backgrounds, text layouts. We've also got web pages on here and also stickers. Now stickers are kind of like little animations that we might want to add to our coffee shop. So we're going to come over, add coffee shop, and see what stickers we get coming up here. And there you can see we've got a couple of like different mugs animated that we might want to kind of like start adding to our designs. We can favorite these if we wanted to, and then they will now be under our favorites. We're going to click on close search and just go back to the templates area, but that's the templates option here inside of the home window to get to all of these other different assets here that we see inside of the actual design window. So if we wanted to get to those here, we actually come up to add content. We can see we can add media, elements, charts and grids, but that's where we're then going to be able to actually come and find the photos, videos. We've even got music, sound effects, and photos, videos, music, sound effects under that area. And under the elements, we've got our design assets, backgrounds, shapes, icons, stickers, and that's where you would actually find each of those inside of the actual design window versus looking at them on the home page. But we can come back and still favorite those. You can see here, even where we're looking down in the menu here, we can still come and actually favorite those if there was one we saw that we liked. But that's our design essentials inside of Adobe Express. Next, we're going to have a look at setting up our brand kit inside of Adobe Express, but that's episode 3. If you've got any questions about this episode or any of the previous episodes, do drop them down in the comments. Thank you very much, and bye for now.